I don't think it's any secret that Marvel's Phase 4 had a lot of big, stinky poo-poo energy. I didn't like a lot of the films coming from these sets of movies. Um, I liked a handful, which is good, and I think the ones that I liked out of these movies were especially good, even for Marvel standards in general. But a lot of them were just absolute misses. And Phase 4 ended, though, and the first film to come out of Phase 5, the new phase of Marvel movies, is Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. And I didn't have high hopes for this movie, and I will say, before going into this, that the film is better than I thought it would be. And it did give me hope for the upcoming Marvel movies. Phase 5 looks like just a bunch of absolute bangers back to back. I'm especially looking forward to Loki Season 2, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and The Marvels, I think are my most anticipated projects of these. I'm actually really looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I didn't particularly enjoy the other ones. I thought they were just a little dumb. Like, not quite as good as the other Marvel movies. I don't think they're bad films. But I am especially looking forward to Guardians 3, because I started reading a bunch of Guardians comics recently, and this just looks like it's going to be a great movie. Alright, I'm going to show you a picture of our 3 protagonists. I'm going to give you a little let you in on a little secret. 2 of them don't go through any character development. Actually, all 3 of them don't have any character development, and one of them isn't relevant to the plot at all. The one that isn't relevant to the plot is the Wasp. I'll talk about that. So, you may be wondering, like, why? Why wouldn't our main character have plot development? Why wouldn't the Wasp be relevant? And I'll tell you why. See this man here? You see this man? This is Hank Henry Pym, okay? He just about served his purpose by the time the second movie came around. And once this movie started, he had nothing to do. He's gone through his character arc. He's finally reunited with his wife. And his wife was very, prominent in this story. And he just wasn't. He was just there because they needed someone to fly their little spaceship going around. He was irrelevant. Same goes for the Wasp. She also served her purpose by the time Ant-Man and the Wasp had come around. She's met her mother, and the writers just really didn't know what to do with her. She was in a pretty good place with Scott, so there wasn't just anything they could do with her. So she just sort of sat around as like extra firepower. And Ant-Man and Cassie didn't really have any character development. I'd say the big character moment for Scott in this movie is where he and all the different versions of Scott are like climbing up to go get that orb thing, and they're like, "For Cassie!" But like even then, that they didn't dislike their daughter before. It's just like showing, oh yeah, I love my daughter and I'm gonna do anything for my daughter. But I feel like that was pretty well established. That being said, I think from a directorial standpoint, this is a really good movie. I loved the visuals. I love the character designs, which unfortunately I couldn't show any of the character designs, so I'll just show this. But I love the directing in this movie. I think it's awesome. I just loved it. It wasn't like anything I'd seen in the MCU before, so I just really thought that was cool. On a related note, the costumes for Marvel movies and Marvel projects have just been getting progressively better. Originally, in the first couple of Marvel movies, everyone would have these cool and crazy costumes, and like they were like all really different from each other, and then they starts to sort of blend together, like they were getting them from the same guy. And now I think they're really actually going away from that direction. You see Miss Marvel here has a pretty unique costume. Thor and Thor: Love and Thunder, despite that movie's flaws, he had a pretty good costume that was pretty original. Hawkeye and the Hawkeye show had a pretty cool costume. Same with Moon Knight, Spider-Man at the end of No Way Home, and even MODOK for this movie. Now about MODOK. He sucked. He sucked a lot. In my opinion, it sort of invalidated Yellow Jacket as a villain in the first movie. I don't think I could ever rewatch that film and take him as a threat ever again after seeing him in this movie. Like, his whole thing is just like... Actually, you know what? This is a great point. This isn't in my script here, but I'm going to bring this up. I think he had more of a character development than Scott Lang. It was a bad character development, and I didn't like it, but I think he developed more than Scott. Scott didn't develop throughout this movie. but he, right, was the villain. He was the henchman for the big bad of this film. And Cassie says to him, "Don't be a dick." And so he stops being a dick and saves everyone's life, and then dies. And I guess he's like a member of the Avengers, but like no one cares. So he's dead, and he's not a dick anymore. That's the character development he goes through, and I think it's the most character development we see in the entire film. That being said, it is a very plot-driven film. So I'll cut it some slack there. And the plot's pretty good. I like the plot. I think it's pretty good. And I think my favorite character from the movie was Kang the Conqueror. Thanks in no small part to the performance of Jonathan Majors. Absolutely brought this character to life. At the very beginning, he plays a character who seems lost and just distracted and not really there fully. And, then you see him as the conqueror. He's intimidating. He knows what he wants. And at the very end, in the post-credit scene, when you see everybody, all the different versions of Kang, you can see him in the crowd just being fanboys, and the guys down in the arena, I guess is what it is. I haven't really seen much about what that is. But there's like the stoic one. He just does a really good job playing the character of Kang, or I guess the characters of Kang. And I'm really excited to see how he evolves as a character, because I really want to see him again. I'm excited to see him again. And so Loki season 2, right? Am I right? Also, last thing I'm gonna say before this is over. I was promised Elton John, Yellow Brick Road. My favorite Elton John song was gonna be in this movie, and it wasn't. So fuck you, Disney. I was promised Elton John. Didn't get any Elton John, not even a taste of it. So I'm upset. I'm pretty upset. Anyways, see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.